What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. A little bit different video here. We're gonna make some free flat fenders because who wants to spend money on stuff you're gonna beat off trees anyway? So what we're gonna do here essentially is just cutting off the end of this to give us the flat fender look. So what we're doing is we're tapering it in the front. We measured from the end over here in 6 inches and just slowly goes up to a 4-inch, and then it goes all the way back to 4 inches in as my measurement, and then we taper it down to 2 inches, and that measurement is from this edge in, and that's giving us the taper that we want, just pretty much giving us the look we want. It's kind of hard to see with the sun, but we'll cut this one and I'll show you what I'm saying. All right, so we started measuring this side too, and like I said, we were measuring from the 90-degree lip on the edge of the flare, measuring in 4 inches. That's just where we wanted to cut it. So we'd measure that 4 inches all the way up to the top here to our final mark. And then to get the taper we wanted down there, we kind of just put a dot and we used the tape measure as the straight edge to go between the point up here and the one down there to give us the straight taper edge all the way to the bottom. And that's how we got that all marked out. Just tapers down to give us the look we want. So what you're left with is this, and this is all the inner fender stuff. A lot of people remove this, but I don't want to do that. Unfortunately, we live where there's salt constantly, so the more salt I can keep out of the inner fender, the better. So we're actually going to remove the whole inner fender, and we're going to trim it back just so it like follows that little orange ridge up, just to keep stuff out of the inner fender. Yeah, you can see where it's... So we'll cut it so it follows that bottom of the fender all the way up, just to keep stuff out. All right, so the next portion of this, like I was saying, is cut. We had to cut this inner, it was like a support for the factory fender flare, but we just chopped it way back. We left the center thing, so it's still some sort of a support. I would like to just delete that, but I needed those other holes and stuff because push pins to hold the inner liner go into that. So to be able to keep that liner, we had to do this, which I think it looks fine. Just trimmed it back. You know, you stand back, you don't even see it. So now we're going to trim this inner fender up. All right, so we got the inner fender liner trimmed as well, and unfortunately that just is what it is. It's going to have that gap, but cut it so it sits flush there. I guess it's not technically probably the right way to do that, but that's the quick, easy way to hold that down there. I was going to make a bracket. What I probably will do eventually is for that bolt there, I'll make a bracket that comes up and comes closer to this, and I can poke a hole and put like a Christmas tree clip through it. But for now, that's what we're going to do. And then we bought some of this stuff, and that's what we're going to use to line the edge. And I think it looks pretty sick. Now on to the next ones. All right, so we got both fronts done, and now we measured this out, and from the body to those dotted lines is 4 1/4, and that's about the width of the front. So we're just trying to match the width is all. And yep, to take out this inner fender, because we're just gonna get rid of this, there's just a bunch of push pins, so we're gonna rip all those out now and begin cutting. All right, so we got this side done, and here's a main reason why we wanted to remove the inner fenders, because it just hides all this stuff that you can't clean. And unfortunately, again, we live where there's salty roads all the time, so you need to be able to pressure wash this to keep this thing from rotting in half. But I think it looks pretty sick. All right, so it's dark now. We ended up getting the last one done. I think it looks pretty good. And then the person that owns it ended up wanting to cut the bumper to match, so we cut that and it lines up perfectly. Put some trim on that as well. Makes it so the approach angle is far better. But yeah, that's how you get some budget flat flares.